I definitely have neighbors watching me out the window right now and wondering what this is all about. So this isn't embarrassing at all. It's totally fine. Hi, I'm Kat and I'm the Raincoast Vegan. Today I'm going to be making one of my breakfast staples, burritos. Now I know what you're thinking. That's not exactly revolutionary. A lot of people have burritos for breakfast. True, that's very true. But today I'm actually going to be talking about one of the secret ingredients that I've found in the last couple of months. It is Shani'Seasoning, I really hope I'm saying that right, 2 dozen egg pack. You probably aren't going to believe me when I tell you this. And I know that because I didn't believe it when I actually read about this product. This makes things taste like eggs, specifically tofu. Here's the tricky piece of information. I've never eaten an egg before. Okay, you heard me right. I've never eaten an egg. I don't know what eggs taste like. I'm really allergic to eggs. Part of one of the great things about being vegan is that I don't have to worry about eating them anymore. But it also means I have no clue what they taste like. I do, however, know very much what they smell like. And that's how I know that this product is the real deal. The first time I used it, I immediately smelled eggs. I couldn't get over it. Even other people in my house were like, whoa, are you cooking eggs? That it smells exactly like eggs. Now, I can't tell you if it tastes like eggs. I will leave that up to your judgment. Although there's a lot of people who've had this product who said, yeah, it 100% tastes like eggs. It's really good for people who are going plant curious, they're eating more tofu, or they've gone full vegan, but they do miss that eggy traditional breakfast that they had. What I will tell you is if you've never eaten eggs or if you are allergic to them, if you have any sort of trigger around the smell of eggs, be careful because it is so accurate that I immediately was like, oh no, am I going to have an allergic reaction? I didn't. It was great. I've been slowly getting used to it because it's a really unique product, but I thought I'd tell you how I make my burritos today. Listen, it is so hot out today. I know a couple of weeks ago I was complaining about snow. I don't really know what happened, but it is sunny and I am sweating. So excuse me for the fact that I have put my hair up. Let's get into the recipe. This is what you're going to need. Get yourself a big, wide frying pan, a firm or extra firm tofu, I've diced up some peppers and onions. I personally like the Daya Mexican 4 cheese. It's my favorite one. Still don't know if I'm saying Daya correctly. Again, I should probably look that up. And my favorite, personally, is the Silver Hills tortillas. Now, these are the spinach ones. I really love the whole wheat, but because of supply chain issues, they haven't been in recently. But the spinach are my other favorite. Silver Hills is a really great brand here in Abbotsford. If you are in the neighborhood, I recommend you checking them out. But you can get their bread at most stores across, I think, North America now. So check them out for sure. You will also need olive oil. Whatever your hot sauce of choice is, I like Cholula. Actually, technically, I love Tapatio. But since the border's been closed and we haven't been able to get across to Trader Joe's or anywhere down south, I've been making everything with Cholula or Grace, this really good Jamaican hot sauce. My wild card ingredient, and you're probably gonna think this is strange, I'm okay with that, is frozen chopped kale. You get it from President's Choice or wherever you get it. It's not those hard bricks like spinach comes in, but it comes sort of, well, you'll see, I'll show you. I find it adds that extra nutrition. I should probably be eating something green, throw this in. I keep it in my freezer because I throw it into like ramen or breakfast tacos, just a handful now and then when I think, you know what, I probably haven't had enough leafy greens today. I'll just throw this in. It's really convenient, so I love it for that reason. I have chopped up some of this for you. Super controversial opinion. probably not that controversial, but maybe to people who eat tofu. I don't press my tofu. I buy firm tofu. I buy extra firm tofu. I will drain it. That's about it. I don't really care to press it. I'm just going to be frank. I'm sure that there's a great reason why people press their tofu. I don't usually have time. I am generally throwing something together in about 15 minutes and immediately eating it. I'm just not that kind of cook. I mean, I could be, and if I was really feeling finicky, I would. But I've been eating tofu since I was about 17, and I'm going to be 40. And I have never pressed it. I haven't died yet. So do with that what you will. Let's talk measurements for a second, because I realize that sometimes I've been told by my mother that I speed through things and forget to tell people how much I put in of things. That's partially because I don't actually measure pretty much anything. I am a type of cook who does things in handfuls. I'm going to attempt to tell you how much I chopped up here. This is about half a package of tofu, about 3 peppers, the little tiny ones, and a half a red onion. I'm gonna throw in as much cheese as my heart feels, and it makes 3 burritos. It's a really big, good filling meal. It's something that I would recommend that you do when you know you have a big day, you want that really big breakfast, or if you're just hungry. So, let's get to the stove. Is this gonna work? I don't know. Let's see. So turn the stove on at about 6, like medium heat. I do appreciate everyone coming on this journey with me as I learn to figure out how to be a person on camera and work the behind the camera at the same time. Oh, I turned on the wrong burner. Shit. Turn on the correct burner. Let's start this again. So you might not actually know this about me unless you're a close personal friend and one of the 10 people who are watching. But I did go to school for photography, so I do have a little bit of experience around the film world, different kinds of projects here and there. It's not foreign to me to understand how to set up a camera and set up a light. I actually did 5 years of school training for stills. The video thing, totally new. Hence me looking in the wrong camera all the time. I'm also not used to being on camera. I stopped doing that when I was in high school theater, so it's been a minute. Thank you to everyone who's being patient with me. As you can see, I'm not roasting my hand, but I am waiting till it gets a little bit hot, and then putting in olive oil. Now, I believe in not measuring oil. I believe in just eyeballing it. I think sometimes you read these recipes and it says like 1 tablespoon. But for whose pan? 1 tablespoon for a big pan. Maybe you only have a small pan. Use a little common sense. Put the olive oil in the pan. Spread it around. I trust that you guys got this. Whew, this is a fun angle. First up in the pan, I'm gonna crumble up the tofu. Don't put plastic things on an element. Is this deeply satisfying? Yes. Is there probably a less gross way to do it? I'm sure there is. But this is my way. We wait. Yep, it's right burner. Now would be a really good time to make coffee. Yep, still the right burner. I think in the industry they would call this time vamping. Technically this says 2 teaspoons to 350 grams of medium firm tofu. So already I'm not following the instructions because I got firm tofu. And then it also says 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil. Again, I am not following that. So I'm going to say sprinkle it with your heart, much like cheese. Don't overdo it because it will overpower your senses a little. When I first became a vegan, which was 3 years ago, I had dabbled with it for years. For years before I did Veganuary, before it was called Veganuary, before it was a campaign, every January I went vegan. And it happened that throughout the years I would find more and more days that I would incorporate vegan and vegetarian meals into my routine. And then about 3 years ago, I went vegan 100% full time. I have not strayed from that a single day since. I really love it. It makes me super happy. It makes me love food again. I was very sick and I was on a very restricted diet because of that. We can get into that a later time if anybody wants to know that painful story. But it made me fall out of love with food. And food is something that's so important to me and to my family and just to the enjoyment of life. I mean, we do eat 3 times a day. You might as well enjoy it. So going vegan really gave me a lot of that freedom back. When I first went vegan, everywhere I looked, somebody was making tofu scramble. And now, I was an old school with tofu. I went vegetarian when I was 17 for a couple of years. I was, in the 90s, and we were concerned about the rainforest being cut down, and I was making a political protest. And I went vegan for about 2-3 years. No, sorry. I went vegetarian for about 2 and 3 years. I don't even remember my own history. So tofu didn't scare me. I've been around tofu for a long time. I live also in BC, and most people know that there's like a lot of tofu around. It's a very vegetarian-friendly place. I couldn't get over, though, that every recipe was trying to make tofu into eggs. I never really understood it, and for a very long time, I didn't want to make tofu scramble. It was one of those dishes that I kept thinking, like, oh, this isn't going to be good. It wasn't until I found the Silver Hills burritos and I turned it into like breakfast burrito tofu with lots of spices in it that I actually sort of fell in love with the idea. And now it's something that I eat as often as possible, at least sometimes a couple times a week. It's my favorite thing. So, starting to see it steam and sizzle. Pause for coffee. And it's just, you can't really see it, but it's just barely taking on color. And that's when I'm going to add in my onions and peppers. Again, am I following a recipe? No. So I have my onions and peppers in here. And the bottle has a little twisty thing that you can get to the opening. In theory. Oh God, why? It's like I walk in front of a camera and I lose the ability to open anything. Hold on. Seriously. I swear to God, if this goes everywhere. Uh-oh. This is because I opened it earlier to show you. I'm sure of it. It has jinxed me. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I can't stop the tofu from cooking. Oh God. Can opener work? What the hell happened here? Uh-oh. Oh no. The entire recipe is about this, and I can't get it open. You know, I feel like this is, oh, I got it. Oh, okay. Whew. So, everything's fine. We're just gonna put some of it in there. Oh, possibly too much of it in there. Oh, and now I can't close it. Oh no. Okay, let's just pretend that went okay. All right, so it's getting a really like yellowy color to it. And it smells like eggs. Now would be a great time to add in the frozen kale if you're gonna do it before things get too burny. You want some of the water to melt in, it'll steam it up, and I don't think burny's a word. You know what I meant. PC frozen chopped kale. Once again, however much you feel, I'm gonna do a handful. You know, that seems about the right level of health that we want today. It's super colorful. Can you see that? Oh, look at how colorful this is. No need to touch it too much. Just wait for it to start doing its thing. I really love it when food is pretty colorful. My grandmother actually used to have a saying that you needed one of every color on your plate. I mean, the woman did make like a very meat and potatoes kind of food, but she did always make sure there was different color vegetables on there to go with. So I think it's important. I also think it's fun. Food should be fun, right? Also, probably for science reasons, that means that you get all your vitamins. So there is a logic behind it. Again, I'm not a doctor, but there is logic behind why you would want to eat a variety of colored foods. Whenever you can fit in extra greens or reds or whatever color of the rainbow you want, throw them in. Ooh, that's good coffee. So while that's cooking, I'm just going to tell you what's in here. It is exotic salt blend, nutritional yeast, turmeric, black pepper. Turmeric would be why it turns it sort of yellow. The exotic salt blend is what probably makes it taste like eggs. At this point, it is totally cooked, so you could pull it off the heat. I like my food a little crispier, so I will leave it for a little bit longer, and I'm gonna add the hot sauce in now versus later. If you were doing this for other people, I would recommend putting it on the side as an option, because you never know what people's palate is like, but for me, I know I like hot sauce. Like, I really like hot sauce. I've added a bunch of things to this before. I've done sort of like a vegan, the Wizard's Worcestershire sauce. I've also done like a chili garlic sauce, a bunch of different stuff in here. So you can kind of add and adjust to whatever your personal taste is. But I'd recommend like a pepper, an onion, and a leafy green are kind of a good standard to go with. It gives you a bunch of different flavors and textures. You could also add in corn and beans, but I do find it is a bit much. If you needed to beef this up though to feed other people, I've also done a little bit of butternut squash in there before. It's really good. All right, I think we're about there. Depending on your frying pan, I would say turn it off, but leave it on the burner, and then just shake in the amount of cheese you feel like today. I have tried a lot of vegan cheese in my time, but the Daiya shreds are the ones that I come back to over and over again. Not just because they're local. And I swear, they're not sponsoring me. They just have a firm grasp on my wallet. So I usually just scooch it all to one side of the pan, and then I'm gonna let it sort of cheese melt together, and I'll meet you over at the counter. I will say, you don't have to have these on burritos if you don't want to. I've actually made this before and just had like a whole bowl of it. You could also eat it on like a really nice crispy toast or crispy bread. It's great kind of any way that you do it. I personally just love a burrito. There we have it. It's all done and gooey. Ooh. Ta-da! I think this is something you could pretty easily make for like a shared dish or like a brunch, and let people just sort of scoop it into whatever they're doing. And honestly, there's no way to do this wrong. This is the style that I like. I like it to be full of vegetables. I like it to be really cheesy, but you do whatever you think is right. Just if you can get your hands on the Shani'Seasoning, I think you'd really enjoy it. It has this really cool umami sort of flavor to it that, again, I can't tell you for sure if it tastes like eggs, but I do know that it makes like a really elevated taste to your breakfast burrito and your tofu in general. So I would recommend it. What are the odds of me not spilling this everywhere? So far on the channel, things are not going great on that front, so. This is super good. This was a good idea. I am 1000% getting lipstick all over this burrito. So good. Whew. It is spicy and steamy and cheesy. So good. Thanks so much for joining today. I really hope you liked this recipe. Try out the Shani'Seasoning if you can find it. I'll put some links where I get it below. Of course, this is not sponsored by anyone. Just telling you it's a cool product. You should try it out if you could. And if not, I hope you adapt this recipe to something that you like. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I'd love to hear what other products that you'd like me to try. And of course, if you would like to like and subscribe to this video, it would really help me. And I appreciate you so much for watching. Thanks so much and have a good week.